Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Sam and I like to talk a bunch of and try to make people laugh. So if that's your thing, make sure you hit subscribe, give the video a like, do whatever. And if you're not new here, thank you so much for coming back. As always, I appreciate you more than words can say. So I don't know what is going on with my hair, but we're just going with it. It's growing out and it's got awkward things going on. I tried to actually do it and it wasn't working. So now it's just tied back in a little nubby ponytail. So my apologies for that. But anyway, so in my last video, we heard from an ex-LadyBoss employee along with the impromptu all hands Zoom call that they had to announce to all of the LadyBoss employees that they are being laid off. So if you missed that video, I'll link it in the description. You don't have to watch it to understand what's happening in this video. This is a testimony from the other side. So the story we're hearing today, I called this video an MLM horror story because LadyBoss is currently, as of January 2023, a MLM. They are a multi-level marketing company, and primarily in multi-level marketing companies, people make money off of recruiting people. At the time of this individual's experience with LadyBoss, they were not yet an MLM. However, they have been running like an MLM when you look at the belief system and their rules and toxic positivity and things like that. I wanted to share her story. She wanted to get her story out here. She did want to remain anonymous, so I will be redacting anything in her email that she sent me that gives her identity away. And if you watched the video where I spoke to the ex-LadyBoss employee, a lot of things will make sense. If you haven't, just watch it after this and then you'll see how much of what she said and what this ex-consumer said really line up, and the stories add up and the math is mathin', whereas Kaylin Poulin and Brandon Poulin's stories of why they sold LadyBoss and all of that math is not mathin'. Let's get into this wild story. So she says, I wanted to share my story with you because I am so thankful you are tackling this mess of LadyBoss. I am a former LadyBoss customer of 3 to 4 years. She titled each section, which I love. I am not a very organized person, but when other people do it for me, I just love it. So she titled this section, The Origins. She says, I first stumbled upon Kaylin when one of her ads came up before a YouTube video. I thought she was a bit much/extra, but I liked what she was selling. She claimed her protein powder tasted really good, and I was in the market for a good protein. I thought, what the heck? It would be nice to support a small business in Albuquerque because I have family there. This was probably late 2018, early 2019. So if you're not familiar with the origins of LadyBoss, where they started, Kaylin and Brandon, who are the original founders of LadyBoss, they did live in Albuquerque at the time that they started the business. I ordered the protein powder and forgot about it. When it came in the mail, I noticed how pretty the packaging was, and it even came with a cute inspirational sticker. I, like many women, am a sucker for pink and pretty packaging. Me too. I used the powder and couldn't believe how good it was. It legitimately did taste like boxed vanilla cake. It was slightly yellow in color and a little grainy, but soft in texture. It also was not too sweet. I love how freaking detailed this is. Thank you so much for the person who sent this to me, which is good because I'm more of a Diet Coke girl. I like less sweet. I was immediately hooked. I thought it would be nice to support a small business and have a quick go-to meal before I head out for work. I immediately signed up for their monthly subscription and was now receiving a discounted bag of Lean every month. So their protein powder is called LadyBoss Lean. Note, throughout the long time, 1.5 to 2 years that I was on the monthly subscription, the consistency of the powder would vary. The powder that was yellowish/soft, grainy, was delicious and creamy. However, in some shipments, the powder would be ivory and would have a very, very fine powder consistency. The flavor was artificial and not as smooth as the yellow. I know other lady bosses address this, and I don't remember anyone ever getting a clear answer, which goes back to the censorship of the lady boss community. The If you're not familiar with that, LadyBoss has a community on Facebook where everything basically started. Within the community, which I have been kicked out of and blocked from, they have a very strict censorship protocol that they follow, if you will. They have certain words that are blocked from being posted. Your post has to be approved. I mean, that's pretty standard in a lot of groups these days, but they will take days to get to your post because of the amount of posts they get. There are over 170,000 people inside of the LadyBoss community. So you can imagine that they can't really keep up with the amount of things that are being posted. And when everything that is being posted has to be approved, it's going to take a while for all of them to get approved. But anyway, on with the story. So this section is called the buy-in. I was encouraged to join their Facebook group where other lady bosses, and then she put in parentheses, the lady boss name made me cringe, to be honest. And I totally agree, were sharing their journey. I noticed when I joined that it was a mix of BS that had nothing to do with the product, engagement photos, vacation photos, and a mix of shake recipes and sharing workouts. I then saw Kaylin announce she was going to start a new 28-day challenge group for a certain date. Apparently, she ran these frequently. I remember it was inexpensive to join, less than $30, and I thought it would be fun to do a challenge with other women. To coincide with the challenge, I decided to spend around $100 for one of her swag packs. It included 2 pretty shaker cups, another bag of lean, a copy of her Big Fat Lies book, a large water jug, 12-month planner, and tons of stickers, etc. The challenge itself included a cute hot pink/white notebook that you would journal in and follow along with. Journals are my thing. That's where a lot of these businesses will get you, is with the swag. I have fallen victim to this as well. And like she said, like there's a lot of people out there who are attracted to pretty packaging. And if you tie it up with a pretty bow, there's a lot of people that are gonna be like, I need that. I don't care how much it costs. I'm gonna pay for it. The whole premise of the challenge was to change your mindset and develop good habits of drinking tons of water and eating healthy, working out. I liked it because it was a realistic approach to weight loss. You would follow weekly videos and would listen to daily meditation tracks that were encouraging, even if they were a little cringe. See a trend here? Yes, all of the cringe. You also were taught how to create a why statement and how to use daily affirmations to change your mindset. Like I said, they've always been like an MLM. It was a positive experience and I lost weight and gained confidence. At the end of the challenge, they even sent you a pink and white certificate of completion and I proudly hung it on the wall of my workout room. I did another challenge right after. I believed so strongly in this brand that I told everyone about it. I bought and gave a copy of Big Fat Lies to my mom and 3 girlfriends. And again, this is such an MLM behavior. I remember when I was in Scentsy, also with LuLaRoe, this was a big thing they would push on people to give out a book. Like The Go-Giver was one of the main books. They would be like, just give this to somebody and it will change their life and you will be a great person for it. So this was always promoted inside of the MLMs too. But anyway, she goes on to say, I even got my mom to subscribe to get the protein powder as well. I was so excited to be a part of this community. I was active in the Facebook group and would always say encouraging things to new members. At some point, Kaylin sent Lady Bosses an email that gave us affiliate type links. I believe this was the Angel program. I think that was their affiliate program, and the individual that I spoke to in my ex-Lady Boss Employee Speaks Up video, she touched on the Angel program a little more as well. You could put it in your Facebook or Insta bio. It was a referral link where you could receive free lean powder if you referred 3 people to buy. I did it and got a free bag. They even encouraged us to put a Lady Boss sticker on our cars so we could connect with other local Lady Bosses. I never did this because the name Lady Boss embarrassed me / was cringy. Totally agree. The part about the affiliate links being posted wherever contradicts what Kaylin is now saying in her challenge. I did a video on that as well, and I'll link that in the description. The recent 5-day challenge she did, she gave out affiliate links to the participants of the challenge, and she specifically instructed them not to just post them in your Insta or your Facebook or anywhere. You have to message them. So it's interesting how her stance changed on that. I was so bought in that I wanted every product she sold as far as programs go. And even though my personality is so different from Kaylin, I liked her attitude and her positive energy. She was great at motivational speaking. Unfortunately, I do think she may have ripped off some Tony Robbins ideas now that I read a couple of books of his. I wouldn't doubt it. Anyway, I purchased her phone app, aka personal pocket trainer. I think I spent $100 to $150 on that. It promised a lifetime access and everyone boasted about it. So I thought it would be worthy of my money. It is/isn't. It's very glitchy. It used to have daily meals and workouts, but now that she is closed, it has just a grocery list and weekly meals. It does also have workouts, workout music playlists, and what to eat at a plethora of restaurants. So it's not completely useless, but I would not have bought it had I known. I also purchased the Ultimate Transformation Academy, or UTA, in 2021. It was their premier program. It was a whopping $297, and everyone was talking about how life-changing it was. I wanted it. UTA is a 6-week program that is like 28-Day Challenge 2.0. Every week, you have a video that coincides with your thick program notebook where you follow along and focus on certain things. I somehow convinced my husband to let me buy it. There is a welcome video and 6 weekly videos. The topics are realign, resolve, reconstruct, repurpose, renew, and rewire. You were to have lifetime access to this program's material via the UTA hub. Of course, when LadyBoss shut down, I had no idea I would lose access to the $300 program I purchased. I didn't even know they shut down until 4 to 6 weeks after. And I'm glad she brought that point up, because off the topic of MLMs and more on the topic of these course creators that are out here like batch creating courses and just pushing a new one out every day, they will sell you on the lifetime access, and then in the fine print it says for the lifetime of the course. So they could decide to put it out one day and then the next day they decide to throw it away and you had it for one day. But because they had it in the fine print that your lifetime access was for the lifetime of the course, not for your lifetime, you are out of that money. So be careful when you're buying courses. Apparently, they had posted on the Facebook page that you had up until a certain date to access your paid for videos. They then said after the hub was defunct that they would send all UTA customers an email with the links to the YouTube videos. I never got this email. I would have been pissed. The only way I got the videos was by sheer luck. I searched UTA in the Facebook group and found older posts on it. I private messaged 4 girls and only one of the girls got the email. So out of 5 of these people, only one person got the email with the links that they were supposed to get. The others never received it. She was so sweet and forwarded the email to me. Unfortunately, the links do not work when you click on them for her or myself. I then discovered that they only work when you copy paste them into your search bar. It then takes you to a YouTube account owned by Kaylin. I immediately downloaded the videos to my computer because who is to say she wouldn't close that YouTube account down? The fact I had to be Inspector Gadget to get the program I paid for angers me. I was an extremely loyal customer. So this section is where we get to the realization. I always got weird/bad vibes about her husband, but ignored it because I liked Kaylin, even though she was extra. I also didn't know or interact with them personally. I did feel she always had an MLM vibe on her website with the ClickFunnels, but I ignored it because the products were genuinely good. I've mentioned that before as well. Like, it's hard sometimes because some MLMs out there do have good products, and while this wasn't an MLM at the time, I know that a lot of people do like the LadyBoss Lean. So it's hard to be like, how can I find something similar in like the grocery store instead of supporting an MLM and the shady business practices? Their sudden and unexpected shutdown of the business is bizarre and unfair to the customers. Couldn't agree with you more. It seemed like something is off and no one can discuss it because they always block any form of perceived negativity in the Facebook group. I also found out about the lawsuit sent from California regarding the apple pie greens. I bought 2 of these, consumed one and not the other. Recently, threw it away. I don't think this lawsuit is 100% valid, as nearly everything in California has a cancer warning on it, but who knows? So if you're not familiar, there was a lawsuit with LadyBoss for their apple pie greens because there was lead detected in it. And like she said, California has some pretty strict laws around that. So there's a lot of lawsuits that come out of California for that. I'd have to agree with her. Like, I don't know if that was like a legit thing or, you know, there shouldn't be lead in our food anyway. I never used the other container because it tasted like sweet chemical apple pie. And I really dislike strong synthetic flavoring. I estimate that I have spent around $1,500 with LadyBoss at this point, if not more, over these past few years for the programs, protein powder, protein bars, etc. And that's right in line with what the ex-employee told me. She started out as a LadyBoss consumer. So she also, I think she said she spent over $3,000 within LadyBoss buying the products and the programs. The hard part is I liked the programs. I don't like the sketchy feel of Brandon and Kaylin. The way they shut down LadyBoss is how an old boss of mine shut down her business. Us employees were not treated well by her or her CEO husband. They actually were not married when I first started working for her. She was no angel either, though. There were also times where we were not paid on payday. He cut costs when he came on board and was too cheap to pay ADP for direct deposit. So we started getting paper checks. FedEx would deliver them to the business on Thursday. She would sign them, and then we got them Friday afternoon. If they went on weekend trips, she would not be there to sign them, so we had to wait until Monday or Tuesday for our money. They were a-holes. I would have to agree. That sounds like a really company to work for. Now, I will reiterate, this is not LadyBoss that she's talking about. She's just comparing the way that LadyBoss was as a business when Kaylin and Brandon were in, how it compares to her experience in this specific company. They gave us less than 2 weeks notice that they will be shutting down the business permanently. We were all blindsided. This parallels what LadyBoss employees went through. I feel for the LadyBoss employees because I know what it's like to be used. So yeah, that was very similar. Just like LadyBoss, they gave them 2 weeks and said and he even said in the video that I'm stretching myself thin and that's more than I can actually do, but I'm doing you a favor, basically, is what he said. So ridiculous. I know what it's like to be a means to an end. I know what it's like to have a CEO cuss or make inappropriate demands during a meeting. The fact that they shut down so quickly makes no sense. What's the rush? Everything was so messy, disorganized, and for what? She has now tarnished her name and her business by not being accountable and not doing right by her customers. Absolutely. Yep. Also, why was she traveling to Italy when her liquidation sale was a disaster? Why was she traveling to Italy? Why were they buying a multi-million-dollar home? And also, why did you buy a ridiculously expensive Airstream all in the same period of time where you said to your employees that you can't afford to pay them anymore, so you were going to have to fire them and shut down LadyBoss? And you then sold the company for multi-millions of dollars. Make it make sense. These people deserve answers. I will reiterate the fact that I have never been a LadyBoss consumer. I have never been in the LadyBoss MLM. I just see what's going on. I have been following the LadyBoss community and the LadyBoss, just everything, the brand, for a while now, and I just hate what they are doing. I hate it. Why was she not helping her team to get orders out on a timely fashion? If I was her, I would be right there helping. It's silly to think that Sam Walton, founder of Walmart, was so humble that he drove an old pickup and visited Walmart locations to visit employees. In parentheses, she says, my mom was one in the 80s and has a picture hugging him. He was wearing a trucker hat and overalls. But Kaylin can't get into the trenches to ensure great customer service during her huge sale. Couldn't agree with this more. Like, this is all like, yes. And I'm so glad that This individual, I'm so glad she didn't fall into the MLM piece of it. Okay, now we're at the conclusion. They messed up big time. She had a huge following and it will go belly up now. Even if she thinks it won't, this left a bad taste in our mouths. I will not ever support her with my hard-earned money again. We take it personally because we supported her as women supporting a woman's business. Why would she throw away an empire for an MLM structure? But why? They had massive success without it. They are very out of touch with today's climate if they think they will grow as an MLM. Many millennials, like myself, are aware of MLMs, and Gen Z are too. It's a dying business strategy. It's currently only upheld by baby boomers and Gen X. No good. I think they were sold an idea of becoming filthy rich by doing this, but time will tell. I think this once amazing venture will now fail due to greed. So this individual and I did speak back and forth through email, and she had a little bit more to add to what she had originally said that I wanted to include to kind of package this up in a pretty little package. She says, what's embarrassing is that LadyBoss is now an MLM, and I don't want people remembering me being associated with it. This is because I told all the ladies in my life about it circa 2018 to 2021. It's the greed for me personally. Greediness and manipulation in a time of economic hardship and suffering. They upped the cost of the product, lessened the amount they give you per serving. So if you're not familiar, they used to give you a bag of LadyBoss Lean and you would have 30 servings inside of that bag. Now they give you a pack of 20 envelopes. So like they're each individual portioned out. And so you only have enough for 20 days, but it's more than you would be paying for the 30 servings in a bag. Could it have killed them not to do 30 single packs? Who was the fool making these poor business decisions? It's going to be very hard to sell 20 serving packs at that price, or any. Industry standard is 30. And yes, it's so true. LadyBoss was ripping people off, in my opinion, from the beginning, and they just continue to rip people off now that Russell Brunson has bought it and turned it into an MLM. Like I said, I don't know to the extent that Kaylin and Brandon are involved, but I do know they are involved, and I do know that their family, his mom, and I believe it's his aunt, are both very heavily involved in the LadyBoss company. Stay away from LadyBoss. With all that said, make sure you don't girl boss too close to the sun and become a LadyBoss. Stay away.